Hey guys, hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're here. And if you're so inclined and have just a second, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon below. It would really help me out, make me really happy. It would notify you once you subscribed and hit the bell notification icon when I release new videos. It will also let YouTube know that you're an actual human interested in EDC content, and allegedly it'll help my videos get seen by more people. But today, I wanted to talk about my descent into the EDC fixed blade hole, right? So many months ago, half a year ago, I started looking for the perfect EDC knife. And so what I wanted to do is not go through my entire EDC knife collection, but really just talk about 5 knives or 5 makes of knife, models of knife that really speak to me, that I really like, that I really can see being part of my EDC carry, right? So all of my EDC knives are great and I carry them from time to time. But when I think about knives that are special to me, the one that sticks out among all others, and the only one that doesn't currently have a proper sheath because it's going to be sent to Joe at Lancelot Leather with another one of these knives. But this is my original small J-Kal. This is made by Jason Grant, why did I say Jacob, at Brass Brigades. It is a handcrafted knife with a very unique handle material and handle style that Jason came up with, that really, for a small knife, locks this knife into your hand. And what is super unique, or one of the super unique things about this knife, is everything is done by hand in Jason's garage. This grind is all done by hand. Any type of detail work, color work, acid wash work, everything is done by hand. It's made in the United States. This one has a micarta handle, and it has this copper lanyard hole and this mosaic copper pin holding the handles on. Full tang construction. This particular one is a chisel grind. He's working on one for me now that's a hollow grind on both sides. But guys, the way that this knife fits the hand and the way that Jason designed it to where you can really not only choose the small version, there's going to be a smaller version if I understand correctly, but you can also get a larger handled version if you've got a bigger hand or you want a bigger knife. But then you, the buyer, can design whether you want a sheep's foot blade, whether you want a spear point blade, whether you want a wicked tanto, or whether you want something similar to this little Patuca style or Pakuta style that I've got. Fantastic knife, very small. Let's compare it. I don't really have anything. I've got a Devo Mash in my pocket. So a Devo Mash is a medium-sized knife, but that shows the size. This is actually bug out size in length. So that shows you how it would compare in size to a bug out. Again, it's a very small fixed blade knife. It is handcrafted. Every one of these is a one-of-a-kind creation. And if you get a chance, go to Instagram at Brass Brigade. Check out what he's working on. He's working on these every day, and you'll see a design on there unlike anything you've ever seen, because every day he's making something different. But that is one of my top 5s and probably my number 1 because it means so much to me. It's a special knife. I worked with Jason on that knife and just love everything he's doing. I'm a gripper owner. I'm going to be a tripper owner. I got to check out the prototype or the V2 of the gripper, and you know, everything Jason touches turns to gold. And for him to be actually making something by hand and then selling it, to me it means that much more. So secondly is a newer knife in my collection, and this knife makes the list of top 5 lists just like another one does because of its ease of carry. This knife is the Suprlativ Hella, and it comes in this very unique sheath, if you want to call it that. It has a clip so you can put it in your pocket, clip it in your pocket just like you would just like if this was your pocket, you could clip it down in there, and then you could pull the knife from within your pocket. And it does have a place for a lanyard if that would make it easier for you. But the little Hella is super thin. If it has a place for a lanyard, if you find it troublesome getting it out of the sheath, but it is a very small single piece of M390, or is it L Max? I think it's L Max, I'm sorry. No, it's M390. So it's a single piece of M390, very thin, comes down to a very sharp flat grind here at the blade. From the way that it fits my hand, I can get 3 fingers on the knife comfortably, and the 4th finger kind of holds where that lanyard would be. So it does give me a very good grip in the hand. I've used this knife for opening packages, for cutting, doing a little bit of whittling, for breaking down some light cardboard Amazon boxes, getting into some Amazon packages. I've used it as an unboxing knife before. This knife's really cool because you could buy it in different variations. I like the satin, but you could also get it in black with micarta inlays. And these inlays are T8s, so you could easily take these out if you wanted this to be a skeletonized knife, if you didn't want this little bit of extra, what I consider handle girth. But I think those little scales, those little inset scales work well. Gives the knife just a little bit more comfort in the hand. But this is a minimalist knife, guys. It's a solid piece of M390 that just comes down to a very, very sharp edge. I don't think I have any paper close. Let me see. I do have some receipt paper. I don't know how well it'll cut, but it cuts that receipt paper very well. And that is the Suprlativ Hella. So to give you an idea on the size of the Suprlativ Hella, we will take out our bug out sized Devo Mash V2, and you'll see that it's much, much smaller than the Mash V2. If I had the Civivi Elementum out here, which I don't, that would give you another idea. And when we get through looking at all these knives, we'll put them all out here side by side, get a few measurements, and you guys will see what's going on. But that is the Suprlativ Hella, just a great little pocket dropper, super easy, what I consider secondary carry to my primary carry. And then third up, you guys have seen this knife before. This knife probably gets carried as much as any of my EDC fixed blades, or almost as much. This is the MKM Mikra 1, which is the drop point version of the Mikra. It also has a carry kit that I picked up for it. This knife comes from the factory with a leather pocket dropper or a neck carry sheath that's really nice, made out of leather. But then they do sell this little accessory kit that's Kydex sheath made for either the Mikra 1, which is the drop point, or the Mikra 2, which is the sheep's foot. This comes with 2 leather straps if you want to wear it on a belt, horizontal carry like I do up against my appendix. Or it also comes with a little branded ulti clip in case you want to have it as a pocket dropper where you can clip it into your pocket. It also comes with a leather piece of cordage if you want to make it a neck knife. But this knife has great retention in this little sheath. It simply throws the sheath out of the way if you want to deploy it. The balance of this knife is incredible. Right now I've got it balanced on my finger. But this is a Voxnez designed, made by MKM. But if you notice, the jimping here at the heel of the hand really helps suck the knife into your hand. And then the jimping here on the blade is not too aggressive, but it's plenty grabby enough to give you just a really solid purchase on that little knife. This is a thicker little knife, but it also slices very well. If I can get the cut started. So yeah, guys, the MKM Mikra is a win in my book. It's very small. I don't know I have it on. When I need it, it's there. It's very easy to deploy. I find myself making more cuts with it than I do with my folder when I'm carrying this little knife. And this little knife, not unlike the Hella, is a single piece of M390 full tank construction. It does have these T8 panels with titanium around them. If you wanted to remove these micarta onlays, you could, to skeletonize this knife to make it even thinner. However, I like the girth that those little handles give you. They make this knife in a skeletonized version as well. They also make it with carbon fiber inserts. I picked mine up with the micarta inserts because it felt a little softer. Feels great in the hand. And again, this little knife is so utilitarian. Again, you just put it in your sheath. You can drop it in your pocket. I like the belt loops, the little leather straps that it comes with. And again, I wear it right up against my appendix. Just a super little knife. And that's the third knife that we're looking at today. So, as we come closer down, and these are not in any particular order, I think I showed you guys the J-Kal means the most to me, but this is a new knife that came into my collection that I've been very impressed with, and it is going to make the top 5 at the current time. This is a little knife, what I consider an understated, simplistic, elegant little knife by Knife Sergeant. Luc.Knives is his company, and this is one of his first variations. Very simple little style with a neutral handle that gives me a full 4-finger purchase. That choil works great. This blade, guys, is MagnaCut, heat treated at, I want to say 64.5, 65. And it is a very thick blade stock, but it comes down as a flat grind to just a very, very, very slicey knife. And I love the size of this knife. I love the way that it carries. I also carry this right now. It has the same type of versatility with this Kydex sheath where I could put an ulti clip on it. I could reserve it for a pocket dropper or a neck knife. I prefer to have the single loop on it, canter it down just a little bit, and wear it scout carry with a little bit of a canted angle in my appendix, and it just works great. It's a fantastic little knife, has a great edge on it, really, really well done MagnaCut. I like the kind of roughness that's been left on this knife because it is, again, one of NAF's first made knives. G10 handle. I think it's done extremely well. I was really excited to get this from Lefty EDC when he decided to let it go, or I would have missed out on these. But just again, for a small EDC knife, and let's do a quick size comparison, and then we'll get all these knives out and we'll do a little quick measury and see how they compare in size. But as you guys can see, it's a very small knife. And all of these EDC knives, these fixed blades that I've kind of carried more than some of the others, I've got some that are a good bit larger, but again, in this group, I think the J-Kal is going to be the largest, and it's still a very small knife. So moving on to our fifth and final knife. This is a knife that I've been wanting all along, and Brother Chickadee, or Brother Honey Bear, 85, had a Chickadee, which is what I was after at the time, and he had an older model available in S90V, full flat grind, and he made me a fantastic deal on it. I could not resist it. It had been the knife that kind of drew me into the whole small EDC fixed blade game, and I'd never tried one. I bought a Tucson knife that was a little bit smaller than this, that was just enough of a green light to let me know that I would be the user of a small EDC fixed blade and drop me down the rabbit hole to buy plenty of others. Now this one from Jakob Creates, who makes these Chickadees, comes with a little small Kydex sheath. Works great. Perfect horizontal carry solution, right? With that little Kydex sheath. Locks in as well as on any Kydex sheath. Pops out. But both of mine also came with an optional Oak City Leatherworks sheath made for the Chickadee, which is a pocket dropper. So this particular one is designed to go in the right hand pocket, and then to be drawn this way. So if I've got my pocket here and I put the knife in my pocket, I'd put it in like so with the clip over it, and that's how it would ride my pocket, right? But since I carry my primary carry in my right pocket, I carry this particular knife in my left pocket, which has me drawing it reverse on this particular knife. Well, this was my first Chickadee, again in S90V, and Lefty's the one that drew my attention to the Chickadee. Well, Lefty had several Chickadees, and one of the ones he had was this Cutlery Shop exclusive, I think, or DLT exclusive, or River's Edge Cutlery. It's in Magna Cut, not S90V, and it's like a 3/4 flat grind, not a full flat. Has G10 handles, which this one started with, but Jakob Creates dropped some micarta handles that I upgraded. But these knives, guys, are basically identical knives. The difference in the two is, this one I put a little edge on because it needed it. This one, Lefty had Kyle Coonley put an edge on that is just screaming sharp. Both these little knives I carry quite often. They're very small knives. If we put these up here next to the MASH V2, they almost fit in the handle, guys. So very small knives. And this one, with Lefty being left-handed, he didn't think I would want this Oak City leather sheath because it's a left-handed carry sheath. But this one actually works great for me because, like I said, I carry my secondary fixed blades in my left pocket. So when I carry that in my left pocket, I can draw it out with my left hand, and I can just draw it out naturally. So the knives we looked at today, which are my top 5 current EDC knives, EDC Fixed Blade Knives, the largest which is the J-Kal. Then we move down to the Suprlativ Hella. Then to the little but great working MKM Mikra. The Luc.Knives Squall. Then our Jakob Creates Chickadees. I can't get them both on the screen, can I? So guys, I know you see 6 here, but this is a double, so we'll just put 5 out there and put one of the Chickadees away. But just to get an idea of our sizes, I am going to find the Divine ruler that I can read a little bit better. And the overall length on the Chickadee is 5 inches, okay? The handle to the choil is going to be 2.5 inches. So you've got 2.5 inches to right there. The blade is going to come in at 2.5 inches, and the cutting edge is going to come in at 2.25 inches. And that's on the Jakob Creates Chickadee. So looking at the Luc.Knives Squall, it is going to come in at 5.5 inches. The handle to that choil, we're going to call that right about 3 inches. It's right there. The blade length is going to be, we're going to call that 2 3/4 with a cutting edge of 2 1/4. And again, the overall length is right at 5.5. So the Squall is going to be a little bit bigger than the Chickadees, which brings us to the MKM Mikra, the smallest of our knives here. So this little guy is going to come in right under 4.5. So I'm going to call that 4 1/4. I don't know, guys. It's right under 4.5 inches. So if I look at the handle to that choil, I'm right at 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches from here to here. And then my blade is going to come in at a whopping 2 inches with a cutting edge of 2 inches, maybe right under 2 inches. But that's the MKM Mikra 1. Great little knife. And then the Suprlativ Hella is another small little knife. It's going to come in right at 5 inches, like the Jakob creates Chickadee. It's going to have 3 inches from right here to the front of the handle. And then it is going to have about a 2 1/8 blade with a 2-inch cutting edge. And this is just that little chunk of M390. And then my number 1, my Jason Grant J-Kal. It's going to come in right under 6 inches. The handle is 3.5 inches to right here. Gives me plenty of room. The blade is going to come in 2 3/4, and the cutting edge is going to come in at 2.5. And guys, this little knife, when I get my sheath from Lancelot Leather, is going to be a fantastic pocket dropper. It's going to be a fantastic horizontal carry knife. And the one that I'm getting made by Jason now is even going to be smaller than this. So I'm super stoked. I hope you guys found this video somewhat entertaining. I know it was a lot of kind of talking about little bitty knives, but all these little bitty knives, guys, I could recommend. And I can do a video rating some of my lower cost #1 knives in EDC Fixed Blades, because I've got a bunch that are under $100 that are very nice. But let me know when you watch the video. Please like or subscribe, or subscribe and hit the bell notification. Give me a like or a dislike. Tell me if fixed blade content interests you, if you'd like to see more fixed blade content. Just kind of keep me posted on what you guys like. Please, please, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate over hate. I love you all. Peace.